Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be your 2025 yearly reading, and you start with this community card and this no place like home card. Your first row is going to represent how you are entering into the year, and you have that community card, and you also have the Three of Cups. These are both great cards for working with community or building a community or, working together with a community. So I think that if you're doing anything, entering into 2025 that involves other people, it's probably going to be extra beneficial for you. You have that no place like home card as well, which, kind of makes sense because, a lot of you might find that you're just kind of especially entering into the year, like at the beginning of the year with all these retrogrades and everything, you might be just feeling like you want to be home. You might be feeling like you don't really want to, go out much or do things. And, it is kind of contradictory, especially having the Three of Cups, which is a card of celebration or, being with other people. But, like I said, I think the two things can be true at once. You can want to be home, but you can also be socializing. So, again, a lot of you just, could be kind of like a quiet end to the year, this year, but also entering into 2025, like at the very beginning. But I also think that there will be moments where you are spending time with people, obviously, and socializing. I think it would be a really good time to like reflect on what you want to build as well. Definitely popping into my head, like, at the beginning of the year, right at the beginning, first couple of months, if you are like wanting to build a community or if you are wanting to build a following, I think it would be a good time to just kind of like think about it and process the ideas there. We could say that this is you showing up here with the King of Cups, so we could just say that this is your energy. Whenever you come up as yourself, puts you in a position of power and strength. I feel that at the very beginning of the year, again, this first row is going to represent how you are entering into 2025. And, I think this is pretty good. It's like you're entering in as yourself. I think you are entering in kind of like an introspective energy as well. We don't really think of the King of Cups as introspective, but he kind of is. He is sitting in the middle of the ocean here, and he is exploring his emotions to a very deep level. He is exploring his emotions to a very deep degree. And so I think a lot of you could be in this place of like exploring your emotions, and especially at the end of the year here, at the end of 2024, if you're watching this at the end of 2024, and then right at the beginning of 2025, I think you're kind of exploring about how you feel. But I think that, again, a lot of the reflection that Pisces is doing probably has to do with Saturn in your sign, because I think that Saturn in your energy is making you kind of like look at where you are at in your life, especially the first few months, like actually I would say until like March probably, so basically between now and your birth period, right, or the end of your birth time, you could really be reflecting at where you are at, and you are either happy or not about what you have accomplished up until this point. And the good news is that I think a lot of you could be putting things into perspective, and you could be saying like, oh, okay, there are some things that I haven't accomplished in my life that I definitely want to accomplish. But I think this year is definitely, 2025 is probably going to be a year where you feel or are getting more serious about like your accomplishments or things that you want to work on. I would say that it's probably still having Saturn and Pisces is making you get more serious about this energy. But also as we get past March, you're going to be even more serious because Mars will be moving forward. All the planets that are retrograde right now, basically almost all of them will be moving forward. So I think you're going to be like more serious. You have the Queen of Pentacles. I do think that some of you are really focused on your resources. Queen of Pentacles is very resourceful, but she has to be resourceful. She has to do things to tap into her resources and to use them properly. So I think a lot of you could be just, kind of working with your finances, working on your resources, trying to make more money, all that other good stuff with the Queen of Pentacles there. But let's see. With the Three of Cups, you have the Nine of Wands. You start and end with the Nine of Wands in exactly what I said, right? It's like, the Nine of Wands is the Wounded Warrior. The Three of Cups is socializing or getting together with friends and community. But the Nine of Wands has boundaries up. So, like I said, I think there is definitely something about this reading that is saying that you will be socializing even if you don't want to. I'm a Pisces. You're probably a Pisces if you're watching this. I never want to go anywhere. I never want to hang out with anyone. I get it. But I think there could be benefits to doing it. Yeah, here you go. You cannot make this up. With the King of Cups, you get the Hermit, which is introspection. Literally, the word I used on the King of Cups, even though I said that, we don't really think of him as introspective. I was getting this introspective energy. It's almost like I'm psychic or something here, Pisces, right? But I think that you are definitely in this introspective zone. I think you should embrace this energy. Like if you are just, thinking, daydreaming, planning, especially if it's future focused, and especially if it's about how you're going to present yourself in 2025, I would say those are kind of the introspective thoughts that I personally would be working on with the Hermit, because sometimes I feel like he needs to shine his inner light. He needs to come down from the mountain and kind of like show the world what he's made of. So again, as long as your thoughts are going in that direction, then things will be good. With the Temperance card, with the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Temperance card. So I think you've been very patient. For some of you, by the way, I do get a little bit of love here, and we have the Page of Cups over here. So you could be attracting a person. Could be like an earth sign or another water sign, or like water with earth, earth with water, whatever. Could be a Virgo as well. Could be any sign, general reading. But I think that if you have been waiting for love with that Temperance card, that, the Three of Cups really could be you kind of like going out and like trying to meet a person or trying to find a person, which would be good. I also think it's funny that, I think some of you, if you are attracting love, could be attracting someone who is more social and, it could really pull you out of your shell. Next, what are we doing? We're going to be looking at what is the best energy that you can work with in 2025 in this next row. You have this transformation energy and this take the lead energy. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think that anything you can take the lead on is going to be an excellent energy for you to work with. And I think, turning one thing into another with the Temperance card, as a card of alchemy. Then we have this transformation card. And then on top of that, we start this row with the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups can be regrets or sadness. He is grieving the loss of something that he once enjoyed. And so I think one of the transformations, or, one of the energies that you can work with, because that's what this row is going to represent in 2025, is turning something around, like literally creating a breakthrough or creating a turnaround. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes I feel the Temperance card is a breakthrough energy. It's about creating some sort of breakthrough. Not really, this isn't accurate tarot, but intuitively, this is kind of what I'm getting off of that card. Five of Cups, he needs to, again, release something from the past so that he can have something new that will also lead to this bridge and this castle. So if things are not going, according to plan, especially at the beginning of the year, I wouldn't wait, for all of 2025. I would get started on this right away. Like if there's something that just isn't cutting it any longer in your life, and I do kind of feel this could be financial, like something isn't making you money, or it's not making as much as it used to, or it's not doing as well as it once did, then, this is what I would be working on transforming. He needs to be grateful for what he has. He needs to turn around and see these two cups. So I think that could be very beneficial for you. You have the Two of Pentacles. Definitely a busy year for you, Pisces. I think there's probably going to be a lot going on in 2025. At the end of 2025, we have Neptune is officially leaving Pisces, which I feel is going to be a big energy for you, or a noticeable change. I actually think this is good for Pisces, not bad. You probably heard me say it before. I don't think Neptune rules Pisces. I believe Jupiter still rules Pisces. Jupiter was the ancient ruler of Pisces. I've looked at a million Pisces charts. I can see how Jupiter rules their chart. I think Neptune is very confusing for Pisces in general, and I just think it's confusing. So, and it's like almost too delusional, right? Us Pisces are delusional enough. We don't need the addition of Neptune there. But what I would say is I think that there could be a noticeable clarity, and I also think you could be working on the right things with the Two of Pentacles. I would make sure to balance the energy out, work hard, play hard. I would make sure that you're doing things that fulfill you, that bring in, joy, happiness, peace, like other feelings other than work. And I think as long as you do that, you will be fine. You have the Page of Wands. Yeah, I would definitely encourage as much adventure as possible as well. You have Mercury retrograde in your 10th house in Sagittarius right now. And, Sagittarius is a planet of like travel, long distance journeys, adventure, things like that. And, once Mercury goes direct in the middle of December, if you're watching this in December before 2025, then but even after, I still think even after, you could have a little bit of a travel bug, or you could be wanting to like travel more or go on adventures. And again, it's coming up as an energy for you to work with all year. So, I think that this could be something you work with all year. With the Five of Cups, you have the Five of Wands and the Death card. So transformation, again, with the Death card. Five of Wands is about being conflicted. I think some of you could be conflicted about letting something go with that Five of Cups. And it seems to me like it's something that you've been working on for a long time. It could be an idea, a job, a business, whatever. And I think this is what needs to undergo a transformation. I think in a lot of ways the reading is saying that you're meant for more. And so if you're not growing, then, you could be experiencing restriction. And I think that's what you need to challenge with this energy. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Cups here. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty or happy home, happy family. I do feel like some of you could be working on love. And again, this is like, I'm not saying you have to have love. But if you do want love, then I do feel that this reading is saying this would be a good year for you to make it happen. So again, you have to leave the house. You have to go and date. You have to go and meet people. You have to go and talk with people with your mouth. People have to see you with their eyeballs. So they have to know that you exist. People love to tell me, you said love was coming in. And then when I ask them what they did, they always say nothing. I'm like, exactly. No one even knows you exist. So again, if you want love, you have to go and get it. It doesn't just magically appear in your lap. With the Page of Wands, you have the Page of Pentacles. Definitely someone new. We have 3 pages here. And this could be a new person that's coming in for you. So again, if you want love, it exists. He is making an offer over to this Ten of Cups. So it's like someone, sees you as their Ten of Cups. But again, we're looking at an energy you have to work with. And so let me say that again for the people in the back. An energy you have to work with, meaning you have to put in the work. That's what we're asking the reading about to get this. So you're going to have to leave the house. You're going to have to socialize even though you don't want to. You're going to have to do things to get it. Next, we're going to look at what you are leaving behind in 2024, going into 2025. You have this divine intelligence. It says to connect with your higher self, you must first create the space to listen. You could be leaving this behind because this is probably a lesson you learned. It's like, obviously, Two of Pentacles says work hard, play hard. To create, that's why I believe we have to work hard, play hard. We have to add in the play part of it, because the play is where we get out of our heads and we can connect with source. So it's like you have learned the lesson, and that's why you're leaving it behind. You have this Pisces card. It says boundaries. It says set and honor your boundaries to avoid being taken advantage of. Yeah, I think 2024 is probably all about boundaries. And even, I would say probably since 2019, you've had a lot of challenges or a lot of lessons regarding boundaries. And, again, this could be a good thing that you are leaving these lessons behind, because it's saying that you have learned the lesson, and which is, again, a good thing. You have the King of Wands, Page of Cups, and the Nine of Cups. The King of Wands, and the funny thing here is I actually feel very good about this as well, because the King of Wands, he has foresight. He's a little bit of a visionary, and he can have very kind of futuristic ideas. But he is just sitting on the card, even though I do consider him to be a card of action. I think that I don't really feel you're leaving anything behind here other than just looking at something. So if you've had an idea for, however long, I kind of feel like this is saying that you're no longer thinking about it, but you are now taking action on it, which of course would be a good thing. You have the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups could be an admirer. I don't think you're leaving an admirer behind. I think this is saying that what's being left behind is this person admiring you, as in that you could finally be meeting this person so they don't have to be stuck as an admirer any longer. So this definitely seems to me like it's, something that is transforming. We see a lot of transformation cards in this reading, and like I said, I think this is a good thing. The other thing I really like is that the Page of Cups is very dreamy. The Nine of Cups is a wish or wish fulfillment, but the Nine of Cups is like bathing in an energy of what he wants. And so he is having to match energy of the thing that he wants and desires to be able to receive it. And I think a lot of you could be in this place where you are either, you have finally kind of gotten to the place where you can manifest something with the Nine of Cups, because again, he's just having to visualize or match energy with the Nine of Cups. But as far as leaving something behind, again, you could be leaving behind the thinking part of it, and you could be taking action. With the King of Wands, you have the Three of Swords. I do feel like some of you could be letting go of something that had control over you as well. Could be a person, with that King of Wands, sometimes I think we can have a connection where there is a lot of desire, where you can really desire the person, but it just isn't working. And so some of you could be leaving something behind where you really desired the person, but it just, maybe wasn't meant to be. With the Page of Cups, you have the High Priestess. Again, I think you have created that space to listen to yourself or to your own intuition. The other thing is that the High Priestess, there's a theory that she has her back to the world. So she is shutting out the world so that she can listen to her inner voice or to her higher self or to her intuition. And I think a lot of you are actually leaving behind hermit mode, and maybe you're becoming more social, like I said at the beginning of the reading, or maybe you're coming out of your shell. And if you are coming out of your shell, I kind of feel it's because of a person. So, again, you could be attracting, like maybe you're not very social, but maybe you're attracting a social butterfly, or, this could be vice versa as well. Take it how it resonates. But I kind of feel like you're coming out of your shell here. With the Nine of Cups, you have the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands, like more convicted on your goals as well, is kind of what I get here. Even going this way, we have that Nine of Wands, which says don't give up. We have the Ten of Cups, which is like fortune after difficulty, and the Seven of Wands is conviction, like knowing that that something is for you, or knowing that that you can accomplish something, but really believing it like deep down into your DNA, like very, very deeply. And so I think this is like a goal that you're committing to with that Seven of Wands. So I think you're releasing doubt. With the King of Wands and the Nine of Cups and the Seven of Wands, like putting those energies together. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this card. It says a personal issue reaches resolution, which is great. You have this other card that says show the world the real you, and it also says full moon in Aquarius. We have all this Aquarius energy with Pluto in Aquarius, and so I definitely feel that showing the world who you really are, kind of like shining your inner light, or with the Hermit, he has the star in his lantern right there, and I always say that, like, he needs to shine that light out into the world. It's very, very tempting for the Hermit to stay where he is. He has shut out the world, and it's like, when you shut out the cold, mean world and you are protecting yourself in isolation, again, it's very tempting to stay there. But I think this is saying, it's time to show what makes you special. You have the Nine of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles. Again, this is coming up in the good stuff for 2025. I think a lot of you are not giving up on an idea or something that you're working on. It's kind of funny as well. I do feel like some of you could be going back to an idea. So, if you had an idea for like a business or a new career direction, or maybe you had an idea to go back to school, or, it could be any idea. I think some of you are revisiting an idea that you kind of left behind in 2024, if that makes sense, where it's like maybe you were kind of working on an idea in like 2023, 2022, into 2024, but maybe you left it behind in 2024, and it's like now you're revisiting it in 2025. I have a feeling that when I do this reading for 2026 at the end of 2025, that it will probably say the same thing. The reason I'm saying that is because this year, or 2025 in September, we're going to have the next Pisces eclipse, and then we're going to have another one in August of 2026. So I kind of feel those Pisces eclipses could have you reworking or revisiting something that is maybe part of your purpose, or something that you did give up on in the past. And whatever it is, it looks good. It's coming up in the good stuff. You have the Five of Pentacles. Yeah, I feel like you're not going to feel lonely this year. It's like if you felt lonely in 2024, even if you had people in your life, definitely possible. Saturn is a little bit challenging because I think sometimes Saturn can be a little bit depressive or depressing. It can make us feel depressed for whatever reason. But I feel like 2025 is going to be not so much. I think you're going to be feeling much better, not depressed, not sad. I even think that, again, you could be coming out of the cold in the sense that you could be finding a new connection, or finding new love as well. You have the Seven of Pentacles, definitely a change in direction in your finances. So I think a lot of you could be are very focused on improving your finances or growing your finances in 2025. There aren't a lot of financial cards here, but again, whatever. With the Nine of Wands, you have the World. Yes, finally accomplishing something is kind of what I'm getting here. I feel like some of you could finally be accomplishing something that I don't think you gave up on anything. It's just like maybe you just had to move on from something for a little bit of time. So if you've been trying to accomplish something specific, I feel like you could be accomplishing whatever that is this year. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Eight of Cups. I really like this. Again, I think you're walking away, on a very simple level, and this might sound kind of lame, Pisces, but on a very simple level, I think you are walking away from things that, make you feel like you've been left out in the cold, or you're walking away from, it's almost like you're walking away from poverty, or you're walking away from things that lack energy, right? And I think the Eight of Cups is saying you're walking towards things that have energy. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Page of Cups. I feel like saying this is worth it. You know, if this is a connection that's coming in for you, I feel that this connection is definitely going to be more than worth it. I think it's going to be something that makes you really happy, that brings you lots of peace. So I would definitely go for it there, Pisces, if you're looking for love. But let's see. You have this inspiration card. Yes, Hermit, definitely a good year for you to be an inspiration or to stand out. You know, this card is all about doing things to stand out, and the Hermit wants you to stand out. So if you have been developing your skills, or if you have been thinking about dating a person or whatever, you know, this card says you need to put yourself out there to get it. Next, you have this empathy card. Again, I feel like you feel more supported this year to me, and which I was not expecting. Like, really, I wasn't expecting this much community stuff in your reading for this year. I guess, like I said, I guess it makes sense, but, again, I think people are being more supportive or having more empathy for you. You have this convention card, pretty good. I don't think, I'm not saying any year is going to be perfect, especially between now and 2033. We're in a time of chaos, so things are going to be crazy, but what I would say is I think things are going to kind of go according to plan this year is how I feel about this card. It's like what works is going to continue to work is kind of what that's saying. You have this indecision card, Five of Cups. I definitely felt indecision energy on that Five of Cups that came up in your reading. I feel like you need to tap in. Even the High Priestess says it would be a good idea to take time to tap into your higher self or to your higher self energies and to really ask for guidance, because I think you are being guided even if it doesn't feel like it. And finally, you have this loss card. I feel like you're releasing a loss or something that you lost, with that Five of Cups. Something that you thought you wanted that you really didn't. So you could be releasing something. And again, this card, by the way, is Saturn and Pisces. So, we basically have Saturn and Pisces for one more year. And, again, you could be kind of releasing something. But this looks really good, Pisces. I am going to do another 2025 reading going more in depth in the future, but looks pretty good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your year.